There is an island in the Indian Ocean where if you get too close, someone will try to kill you. Not because of politics, not because of religion, because the people who live there have decided, over generations, that the outside world does not exist, and they intend to keep it that way. The island is called North Sentinel Island. It sits in the Bay of Bengal, roughly the size of Manhattan, and on it lives a group called the Sentinelese, the most isolated human beings on Earth. Nobody knows how many of them there are. Estimates range from 50 to 500. Nobody knows what language they speak. Nobody knows what they call themselves. The name Sentinelese was given to them by outsiders. Everything we know about them fits in a few paragraphs, but here is what those paragraphs contain. Genetic and archaeological evidence suggests their ancestors arrived on the Andaman Islands somewhere between 30,000 and 60,000 years ago. That means they may have been living in isolation for longer than agriculture has existed, longer than any city has stood, longer than any religion currently practiced by the majority of humans has been around. While civilizations rose and fell, while empires were built and destroyed, while the printing press was invented, and the internet, and humans walked on the moon. The Sentinelese stayed on their island and continued doing exactly what they had always done. They hunt, they fish, they gather, they build shelters, they light fires on the beach. They raise children, they bury their dead, and when outsiders approach, they shoot arrows. The first recorded contact attempt was in 1867, when a merchant ship ran aground near the island. The survivors who came ashore were attacked immediately. That pattern has repeated itself with remarkable consistency ever since. In 1974, a National Geographic film crew approached with gifts. They were met with arrows. The director was hit in the thigh. In 1981, a cargo ship ran aground nearby. The crew radioed for emergency evacuation after watching the Sentinelese building boats on the beach, apparently preparing to reach them. The crew was airlifted out before contact was made. In 2004, when the Indian Ocean tsunami struck, causing catastrophic destruction across the entire region, Indian government helicopters flew over the island to check for survivors. The Sentinelese shot arrows at the helicopter. They were fine. In 2018, a 27-year-old American missionary named John Allen Chow paid local fishermen to take him close to the island, then kayaked ashore alone, intending to convert the Sentinelese to Christianity. He was killed. His diary entries, recovered afterward, described previous approach attempts and his belief that God had called him there. The Indian government ultimately decided not to recover his body, citing danger to any recovery team and the legal impossibility of prosecuting people who have no concept of the laws under which they would be charged. The Indian government's current official policy is protection through non-contact. It is illegal to approach within 5 nautical miles of North Sentinel Island. The stated reason is not to keep the Sentinelese contained, it is to protect them from us, because here is what most people don't consider. Their immune systems have never encountered the diseases that the rest of the world has fought and developed resistance to over thousands of years of contact and trade and colonization. A single outsider carrying a common cold could potentially start an epidemic on that island with no biological defense against it. This is not theoretical. It is exactly what happened to virtually every isolated indigenous population that encountered Europeans during the Age of Exploration. The death tolls were catastrophic. Entire civilizations were not destroyed by weapons. They were destroyed by germs the visitors didn't even know they were carrying. The Sentinelese, whether by instinct or cultural memory or sheer accident, have protected themselves from that fate by doing exactly what they do, shooting arrows at everyone who comes close. We have aerial photographs. We know they use iron recovered from metal objects that wash ashore and shape it into tools and weapons without knowing how it was originally made. We know they have canoes, We know they have fire. We know they have a society complex enough to coordinate defense. But what do they think the sky is? What stories do they tell about the lights that move across it at night? When they watch ships passing in the distance, enormous metal objects that don't stop and don't come close, what do they make of them? We don't know. We may never know. There are people alive on that island right now who have no idea that 8 billion other humans exist. No idea that we have been to the moon, built cities of 50 million people, or connected the entire planet into a single network of information. They are living in a world the rest of us left behind 60,000 years ago, and they are defending it. The question that stays with you is not why the Sentinelese refuse contact. That part makes complete sense. The question is what it means that we keep trying. Every contact attempt in history has been motivated by something: curiosity, commerce, conversion, science, good intentions and bad ones. The result has been the same every time: arrows. At some point, an arrow is not just a weapon. It is an answer. The Sentinelese have given the same answer for 150 years of recorded history, and for tens of thousands of years before that. They do not want what we have. They do not want to know us. They have looked at what approaches from the sea and made their judgment. And so far, that judgment has kept them alive.